Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and today we're going to be looking at the state of Pennsylvania and how the Republican Party can flip it in 2024. So, I've been kind of doing these in alphabetical order. I actually skipped over Minnesota because I don't think it's worth talking about, but Pennsylvania is a state that I think we should really talk about. And I'll do states like, I think Nevada is important. I think that's a state that's really underrated in terms of how competitive it is, LMNOP, and then Pennsylvania. So I'll probably do Nevada afterwards, but I just really felt like talking Pennsylvania today. And really, why it is such a key state for both parties in 2024. Now, in 2020, I think we all could agree that whoever won Pennsylvania was going to win the White House. And Biden won Pennsylvania, and he did win the White House, and Pennsylvania has been pretty good at predicting the winner of presidential elections. Now, it has kind of had a Democratic lean for a good amount of time, but, Gore and Kerry both won the state, and they lost to Bush twice, but, Trump won it in 2016, and he won the election, then he lost in 2020, and he lost the election. So, yeah. Now, Pennsylvania, let's just take a look at some key counties. Now, I don't think key counties should really be swing counties. Now, the most competitive county in Pennsylvania is, generally speaking, Erie County. It's the bellwether of the state. It usually gets the winner of the state, correct? Statewide races, So it's Democratic leaning because the Democrats usually win Pennsylvania more often than not. But Trump did win it in 2016. Toomey won it in the 2016 Senate race. If I'm correct, I know Trump won in 2016, but I think Toomey also won it. Toomey won it in the 2018 Senate race. So, yeah. Now, just Erie is, it's an important county, and it paints a good picture of who's going to win the state. But what's more important for the Democrats and for the Republicans are bigger counties. Now, taking a look at Philadelphia County, this is the biggest basin of votes for the Democratic Party by far, I believe. Yeah, it's definitely the biggest area. It's their stronghold. In terms of where they get their votes from, Biden won 81% of the vote there, and he got over 600,000 votes, which I think is better than Clinton. Now, in terms of percentage, I think Biden did a little worse than Clinton in the county, but she got a lot more votes than she did, as you can see. So she did around a point worse than her, but he got more votes, which is kind of what matters in this case. So he ran it up in Philly. Pittsburgh, Allegheny County is another big Democratic county. This is, Pittsburgh is a little more Republican than your average city because it has a significant white working class population, which came out for Trump. But, it's still an urban area, still an area that Biden won by around 20%. Allegheny, of course, he did fairly well in. But we can actually take a look at maybe the vote shift. We can look at the vote shift here. Let's copy and paste this into another tab. But let's just go back to president, actually, because I want to take a look at the shift, so I don't have to flip back between tabs, which I know makes a lot of people dizzy. But we can take a look at zoning in Pennsylvania. Shift, like I mentioned, Philadelphia did shift to the right, but most other counties shifted to the left. I mean, some more rural, like I think Cameron County did shift to the maybe not. Cameron shifted to the left, but rural counties like Clarion County, Elk County did shift to the right. But the bigger counties, with the exception of Philly, which barely shifted to the right, suburban Philly we can talk about. But Allegheny, which is another big area for Democrats, shifted to the left by 4%. Lackawanna, if I can find Lackawanna, shifted 5 points to the left. That's where Scranton is, and I think the only reason that I know that Lackawanna County exists is because of The Office, which is a great show. Monroe County did shift to the left. Now, a good example of this is Chester County. Chester shifted 7.6% to the left. This is a Democratic-leaning suburban county in Philly. But, Republicans have won there before. In congressional races, in Senate races, like in the 2016 Senate race, Toomey did. No, he didn't. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong hundred. But Toomey did do all right in Chester. He only lost it by around 10, as opposed to Trump lost it by 17. In Montgomery, another suburban county that is Democratic leaning, Biden did 5 points better than Clinton. In Bucks, he did 3.6% better than her. In Delaware, he did 4.4% better than her, although Delaware is not really suburban. It's kind of a mix of suburban and Philly. And then in, just some of these other counties that are kind of random. Erie County shifted a little bit to the left, but I don't, care too much about that. Now, Center County is a Democratic trending area. This is where Penn State University is, and it was once a Republican area, but, high turnout from Penn State gives the Democrats the victories here. So that's essentially the trans map for Pennsylvania. I wish that they illustrated it a little better. Like, I find, because, you have to, navigate for the counties, and, it just doesn't give you a good picture. I would have taken the time to actually, map this out, but Right now I don't have the time to do that, but that's essentially the trend map. And you can, and, like I said, the main idea that I'm trying to preach here is that Biden did better in these suburban Philly counties, and in Pittsburgh as well, because he was better with the working class than Hillary Clinton was. But yeah, now let's use a very awesome tool called the election shuffler, which I think is a very fun thing. So I highly encourage everyone to use this. This is a tool, just electionsdaily.com/the election shuffler. I might, if I remember, which is unlikely, I'll put the link in the comments to the description. But the election shuffler allows you to, edit any state, edit counties, and edit turnout, and it'll give you the results. So, like, let's say we want to make the Republicans win Pennsylvania. We can make them win Allegheny, and they can win, the state. But that obviously wouldn't happen. Let's reset that. I'll do Control-Z and see if that fixes it. Oh, no, it doesn't want to fix it. Now I have to remember. It was like D plus 20 or something like that, so you're going to have to get this back to where it was. Yeah, that seems about right. So, yeah. Now let's map out what I think is or what I think is reasonable expectation for both parties to win. So for the Republican Party to win Pennsylvania, actually we'll start with the Democratic victory. What that would look like. I think first of all, they need Philly turnout. They need Philly to have good turnouts, like we can say plus 6%. Same with and being realistic here, I think Philly might actually not have great in 2022. It might actually not have good turnouts, or -3. Same with Delaware. I think Delaware might be a little worse in turnout because of a midterm, but that's not all bad news for Democrats, because the suburban counties that are trending blue, they usually have better turnout in midterms, because if those of you who don't know, in midterms, the share of the electorate with a college degree usually goes up, which used to be good news for Republicans, but now it's good news for Democrats because they're improving with college-educated voters. And I think Chester is going to shift left no matter what. And people say that without Trump on the ballot, the Republicans are going to do better in the suburbs. That's happening with or without Trump. That shift's been happening for a long time. Trump just accelerated due to his rhetoric that really hurt the Republican Party in the suburbs. So I think that we can say we'll see better turnout for the Democratic Party in these suburban Philly counties. So yeah, and then I think Center County, these college voters are probably going to turn out for Democrats in the midterm. And I think that Biden didn't do as well in Center as we expected, so I think that could be Democrats haven't really reached their peak in Center. Center is also growing in population, so it could eventually become, as I mentioned in my Substack article, a big basin of votes for Democrats. I think Pittsburgh turnout could be a little worse, not too worse, but it could be a little worse. And also, it's trending red a little bit. I mean, the county itself is trending red. The city is trending blue, but I just think that Biden did pretty well there. Lackawanna County is definitely trending red, but Trump and Biden, I think Biden could have lost the county because Biden was from Scranton. This is the county he was born in. So I think the voters there obviously had a soft spot for him, I guess, because he was from there. But Trump also was good with the working class. This is a working class county. So it really depends, but I'll just keep it as +8. But I think the turnout's going to be down, definitely. Monroe County, this is just another kind of county that I don't know too much about. I'm going to keep it where that is. Northampton and Lehigh County, I don't know too much about. Dauphin County, which is where Harrisburg, the capital of the state, is a Democratic-leaning county. I think the Democrats, this is a county that's trending blue. I think the Democrats are probably going to win this by a safe margin next time. Maybe not, maybe likely, but I think that they can, this is a county that Hillary Clinton, I think she narrowly won it. She won it by 3%. I think, I'm pretty sure, 2012 election results. This was an Obama county, but I don't think he won it by that. Yeah, he won it by 6. But I have good reason to believe that this county is trending blue because this was an 8-point Biden county. So yeah, I think it'll continue the trend to the left, and I think but the turnout's going to be around the same. So I think so we're done with the Democratic counties. Now we're going to take a look at the Republican counties that are important. Now I think these rural counties, I don't intend to adjust all of them on recording, but I think that, the margins in these counties might be a little, Trump won Cameron by 47. I think he'll win, the Republican could win it by 42 or 43. But the turnout, the big problem for the Republicans in these counties is that the turnout's going to be down a little bit, not insane, but it'll be down by a couple percentage points, being realistic, because Trump's not on the ballot. And because it's a midterm and rural voters don't really come out for midterms as much as they should, or as much as the Republican Party would like them to. So I think for that reason, I'm going to have these rural counties. I'm going to edit their numbers, but I think we're going to have the turnout be a little lower because the turnout for rural counties in 2020 was insane because they came out for Trump because they really resonated with him. But this time around in 2022, it shouldn't be that unless the Republican Party of Pennsylvania runs someone very, very Trumpian or somehow gets Trump to run there, which is obviously not going to happen. So yeah. just these rural counties, I think I'm going to have to adjust turnout there. I know this is, I'm going to pause this recording for a second. All right, so I just did the turnout for all these rural counties, and I think that at this point we should kind of take a look at these more Republican-leaning suburban counties of Philly, like Lancaster County, which was a 16-point Trump county in 2020, but is trending to the left. And I'll just take a look at the 2012 election results here. This was a county, Lancaster was a county. Berks is a different story, but Lancaster was a county that Obama won, or that Obama lost by around 20%. In 2016, this was a county that Clinton lost by 19%. And Biden inherited down to 16-point Trump County. So I think that it could be, like a 12-point margin victory for the GOP here. I think, but the turnout could go up a little bit because of how suburban it is and suburban, exurban, similar things. So yeah, and I think that could narrow up. Berks is a county that has kind of stayed a swing county, I guess, that leans Republican. Now Romney did carry it. He won Berks County. He also won Chester, which says a lot about how fast the county's zooming to the left. He also won Center. But Berks, I think I wouldn't expect it to flip, especially because Biden didn't flip it in 2020. And it, Berks, Biden lost Berks by 8. I think I'll keep it in the likely Republican column. I think it could narrow up a little bit, though. Like 5-6% margin of victory for the Republicans. The turnout could go up a little bit. So, yeah, and then Bucks, as I mentioned, I think that the suburbs are going to keep trending blue, and the turnout's going to be up. So I think that is going to be it for how the Democrats can win Pennsylvania in 2024 and 2022. They have to continue to do well in the suburbs, have a lower turnout from rural areas, which is going to happen, and hold on to their margins in these western counties like Center, Allegheny, and Erie. So now we're going to take a look at, we're going to reload the page, and we're going to see what the Republicans can do to win Pennsylvania. So I reload the page because that's the Democratic win, and now it's narrowed up a little bit. So first of all, the Republicans have to win Erie County. That's a bellwether county. I'll just give it to them because it's a bellwether, and I like bellwethers, and they make everything easier. So they're going to win Erie. Allegheny, they have to narrow up. They have to get the turnout down there significantly more than you'd expect. They have to overperform there, so they're probably going to, at worst, lose Allegheny by like 15 or 16. So the margin's already down to under 1% for the Democrats. And they have to have a lower turnout from college voters, which isn't likely, but I think we can just do +2. But it's going to shift to the left no matter what. So I think Center, not a good sign for the Republicans, but they can win Dauphin. And I think to win Dauphin, they are going to have to have better working class turnout and better suburban numbers. So I think they can narrowly carry Dauphin, if I'm correct. And I think it went to Toomey in 2016. Yeah, it did go to Toomey in 2016. So they've won it before. So Dauphin, I think, Republican, they could win there. Chester, they have to start narrowing it up there. They can probably lose by around 10 at best for them. So we'll give them a 10-point loss if I can do that. But the turnout's going to be higher no matter what. So you should just adjust the turnout in these suburban counties real quick. The turnout's going to be high in the suburban counties no matter what. So the Republican Party has to do better with them. Montgomery, they can narrow up a little bit. They can narrow up. Bucks, they can actually flip Bucks County. In a best-case scenario for them, they can flip Bucks, which is already giving them the victory here. I think really close, though. They can flip Bucks. They have to get Philly. They can't really improve in Philly because Trump did well in Philly for a Republican, but they can get the turnout down by like 10% or something like that. Same with Delaware. Delaware, they'd have to get the turnout down as well. So right now we're looking at a 1-point Republican victory, but they have to do, in these working class areas, they have to do a little better, which is unlikely, but, a little better they can possibly do in some of these areas. This Scranton area they can definitely do better in because Biden was from there. I think if Biden wasn't from there, Trump could have potentially won it, kind of like he won Mahoning, which is historic. So I think Lackawanna narrows up a little bit. The turnout goes down. And I don't know too much about these counties, so I'm not going to touch them. But that's kind of what it would look like for a Republican to win Pennsylvania. It mostly comes from doing better in the suburbs. And the suburbs Pennsylvania is a suburban state, which is why it went to Biden in 2020. It's not because he magically did well with working class voters. He did all right with them. He didn't do great, though. It's because the suburbs came out for him against Trump. So that's what the Republicans can do to win Pennsylvania in 2022 and 2024. This video is not scripted, which is why the quality might have gone down, but next videos will be scripted. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next one. Goodbye.